Hi, I am Tyler Young, the CEO of VersiTech, and welcome to Talk Tonic. We're going to sit down and explore Lance Bell's vision behind ServingIntel and why he found a niche in healthcare that is really making an impact across the US and Canada. Lance, can you just give a 60-second explanation of what ServingIntel does?
ServingIntel is now a software company. We've morphed over the years, and we write software that serves healthcare and hospitality industries from a transaction standpoint. So we do point of sale, we do enterprise management, and a lot of other things.
Lance, you mentioned hospitality and you mentioned healthcare. Those are two I don't often see mixed together. How did you come to serve hospitality and healthcare?
Well, it was a blessing in that we specialized in table service and fine dining restaurants, and then we were brought into a world, the senior living world, where they wanted their dining rooms to move away from the old cafeteria trays and go upscale. And some of the communities that we serve across the United States and Canada truly have five-star service and five-star food. So you have retired people who are paying a lot of money to be taken care of, and those operations need the systems to be able to order food, get them printed in the kitchen, all the basic point of sale stuff, along with a lot of enterprise management items like meal plan management, allergies, dietary needs. There's a whole breadth of functionality we had to create for that market segment that was different than the hospitality side. So the hospitality side gave us that entry point to go into healthcare. And then from there, we helped them get to five stars.
Is ServingIntel the company or the product?
Both.
Both.
Originally the product, and then we made a strategic name change about 7 years later just to have the entire enterprise all named ServingIntel.
So you're all in on ServingIntel. We're going to see it everywhere. Talk to me about a problem within the healthcare communities that most people wouldn't think is there that your solution solves.
There are a lot of opportunities. And this we're seeing this because I really think it's rooted in humanity. Labor shortages. It's everywhere. Having software help folks to be more efficient. We're tying part of our offering is robots, and it's not a direct. Our software is not on robots, but robots bring food out to the dining room and they take dirty dishes back to the dish. So our job is to provide tablets to employees that has the resident's picture, has all of their favorite items, again, allergies, dietary needs, all on one screen, so that that person who's serving those residents are able to stay tableside longer, spending more time with the residents. That increases resident satisfaction. And in this industry, if you think about it a lot like a hotel, these huge communities, our largest has 1,200 residents, it's like a small city. These communities they care about occupancy rates. And so, how many filled rooms compared to open rooms, and that drives profitability for them. So, if we assist them to increase resident satisfaction, there'll be more referrals. Of course, if you have residents that are eating healthier food, following dietary guidelines, they live longer, healthier lives. All these things come together to increase occupancy rates.
How did you find this niche?
It was I have to give credit to God because there is no other thing. I had a friend in Houston, Texas, call me up one day and he said, "I have a lead," and what he had was a name and a phone number. That's all that he had. And the largest senior living community on the planet happened to have their dining headquartered in Chicago, where we were pretty close. So I called the vice president of dining 3 times in a row, and on the third time I said, "I'm not calling you back. You're busy. I'm busy." I walked away. And of course, he called me the next day.
The takeaway is always a good technique.
Absolutely. So that worked. And when we went and met with him and the senior vice president of dining, we had the two of them in a room, they cared about things that kind of surprised me. They cared about the color of the software, the aesthetics of the software, how the touch screens fit within the ambiance of a particular concept that they had created called American Bistro and how they were rolling it out. It just so happened the employee I brought into that meeting to do the demonstration was a graphic artist. Again, a God thing. So we spent a lot of time talking about Pantone colors, not so much people at tables and people at seats. And so they gave us an opportunity. We did our first installation in Germantown, Tennessee. Went fantastic.
Well, why was the colors important?
This senior vice president of operations, a phenomenal operator, cared about the entire, again, this was a bistro going into what used to be cafeteria trays. It was all day dining instead of you're coming for breakfast, you're coming for lunch, you're coming for dinner. So it was a radical paradigm change in every nuance, wallpaper, everything. He drove the color detail down to that level. So what was on the screens was first and foremost for this individual. And we just kind of took it from there. The software that we put in took care of all the functionality. Everything else fell in place.
At ServingIntel, what's your approach to customization of your software for it sounds like what may be very detailed requests?
Yeah, that's one of our sins is we care so much about our operators that we tend to get a little edgy when it comes to doing software enhancements. Now we're blessed. We have over 30 software developers spread across 6 different teams. And so we're agile in our methodology. And we have a roadmap that we break down into quarters that has a lot on it, but it's very flexible. And so when we're working with an operator and they need something, we tend to lean towards solving the problem, scratching the itch. It's fairly rare somebody asks us for something that doesn't span across the industry. And so we don't get a lot of one-offs. And also we're blessed to be a Microsoft shop. And so when somebody needs something like reporting, we just give it to them all in Excel. We give you a giant spreadsheet. And then if you want graphs and charts and you want to drive it however you want to drive it, you can, of course, do that. We've now implemented artificial intelligence into our solution. And so now you can do a chat prompt. Did this resident dine yesterday? We'll reply back with breakfast, lunch, and dinner and the times that they came and ordered in the dining room. And so we're making getting the data in and out of the system easier for our operators, and that becomes a huge benefit for them.
Lance, talk to me about your approach when consulting with senior living facilities who have not yet adopted a point of sale with your capabilities.
Absolutely. Our competition today, our number one competition today is paper and pencil. And there's a lot of inefficiencies that come along with that. I mean, we're literally talking about handwriting, being able to read handwriting correctly in the kitchen, getting the right food out to the resident. So there's a significant paradigm change across the entire industry. There's also labor shortages that play into this. So these communities need technology solutions that make their staff more efficient, more productive. All of these things go to raising the satisfaction level of the residents that they serve.
Has there been any hesitancy with some of the facilities you've talked to?
Yeah, absolutely, because again, it's kind of like going from the Stone Ages to the AI ages. It's pretty significant, and so, in generally speaking, Americans are slow to embrace technology. So you have the two things that are working there, but there's been a great deal of traction. The industry continues to grow as Americans age, and so it's a great opportunity for them to embrace these, what I would call pretty basic technologies.
Well, you mentioned robotics, and I wouldn't say that's super basic for everybody. What about self-ordering kiosks, online ordering? Has that aspect been built into the communities?
Absolutely, and it's been wildly successful. What we would call e-commerce, we tend to just change the name a little bit to in-room dining. And the community gets to set up, a lot of these larger communities have 2 or 3 or as many as 6 dining venues. I mean, kind of think like a cruise ship. And so there could be a steakhouse, there could be a Japanese sushi bar type place, whatever the community wants to do. An all day American bistro is a very popular selection. So as a resident, I could be sitting in my room on my phone, on my tablet, any web enabled device, and I could pick the revenue center. I could pick the menu. I see all of the items. I see their modifier choices. And the resident can take their time going through the ordering process and building their meal. Then they get to choose the business rules on the backside. Do they want it delivered to their room? Most people do a $3 or $5 charge, or do they want to go pick it up and get some steps in? So our software guides the entire process.
In-room dining, I like that versus online ordering. Talk to me about your kiosk solution. I saw a post that you had a whole market set up.
Absolutely. We're doing a lot of kiosks. And what's interesting is we're not serving the residents in most of these cases. We're actually serving the employees. Again, you have a large community with a lot of employees who all need to eat in a limited time frame. So we can create an e-commerce solution so the employee can eat or order and then eat off of their phone, or these kiosks go into employee break areas or somewhere that's centrally located. They order their food on the kiosk and then it goes straight back to the kitchen. So whether they want a physical device or they want to use their own phone or tablet, either way, we help serve the employees so they get a better experience, getting their food hot and fresh and being able to go sit down and eat it in a timely manner.
Your integration of AI is on the leading edge with your product from a lot of people I've spoken with, so I want to give you a compliment for that. How have you opened AI up for the users, the employees, to make the system helpful to do their job?
We have two different solutions. One is created a portal for OpenAI right inside of our software. So they don't have to go to a web browser, or they don't have to access a separate subscription. We literally have a window to everything that is OpenAI. So a chef can sit down and research meatloaf recipes. An operator can sit down and create a job description for waitstaff, a job post. So anything in the world that they would possibly need from AI, we bring that to them right through our software. And then in addition, we have a solution that hits all of their data. And so we store all the data in Microsoft's Azure warehouse, and the portal is a text to data prompt. And so if you ask a question, how many coffees did we serve yesterday? You get the answer for your facility. And these are all driven by a site identification number. So I could ask what residents ate yesterday, what residents did not eat yesterday, anything that's in the database from an item sold, an employee, or a resident's perspective is at the fingertips of the operator.
Senior living communities are growing. I'm seeing them pop up everywhere. They're being built in, areas that I would have never thought they would need to be. Well, obviously, there's more people aging than there are people being born today. Therefore, this is a pretty good niche. How are you approaching this niche and helping them prepare for the increased occupancy needs that they're going to have?
There's a service continuum in senior living, and it starts with the independent living. So people are healthy, active, and they're the ones who look at a dining experience. It should be at the restaurant level. And then you have folks in assisted living, and then you have skilled nursing, and you have memory care. And so there are communities who handle the entire continuum. They're called continuing care retirement communities, and the new term is lifespan. And so our software typically swims over here on the independent living side and assisted living. And we're releasing a new product this year that goes through the entire continuum. And so, from our desire, we want to serve the entire industry. So, we're expanding our product offering, and all of these products work off of one enterprise system. So, whether you have one community or you have 1,000 communities, we've got the solutions to empower the staff, to get more service to the residents, and do great things.
Lance, thank you for meeting with me, sharing your story. Lance is truly changing the game in senior living communities with his experience from the late 90s to now in hospitality, applying that to senior living with an AI mindset. He is providing solutions and value that probably senior living executives aren't focusing on because they're so focused on their residents and their future residents. So anybody out there that is interested in a senior living point of sale, you got to go check out ServingIntel.